Good afternoon. I'm Saad Al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor of Semper Fortis Jiu Jitsu here in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm going to tackle this week's question of the week. So one of my students shot me a message asking how, when I go to roll, also known as sparring, how do I determine the intensity level of the roll? And basically either it's determined by how this person normally rolls. If it's somebody that I normally roll with, it's like, well, I sort of have a good vibe for, like what kind of pace and intensity level they're going to bring to it. And I just sort of match that. But sometimes, like it's somebody new that I haven't rolled with, somebody that's visiting from another school, or maybe I'm visiting another school, and I have no idea like what intensity level, they're going to bring to this particular roll. And so what I do is I just really let them set the pace, and then I play off that. So if we go bump fist, if we're standing, I usually look to pull guard and then see how they're going to respond with their intensity. If we start on our knees, we bump fist, once again I sort of take a guard type position and just react to the intensity and the pace that they bring to it. So sometimes, I'll roll with, like, say, another black belt. Like one time I'm rolling with a guy, he was a younger world champion, actually, black belt. And, I didn't know what level of intensity he was going to bring. And, we bumped fist and he brought it. And that's okay. It's like, it's a 5-minute round. And, if you get tapped, in 30 seconds because you just weren't prepared, cool, bump fist. And then now as you continue the roll, what the intensity level is. It's like, okay, we're bringing it. But, so that's the general way I approach it. Like if I don't know what the intensity level is, I just let, my training partner set that intensity level. If they're going hard, I'll match that. If they're, just sort of flowing, that's what I'll do. I'll just sort of flow with them. Now, sometimes, like if it's somebody that you've trained with before, you already sort of know like how they're going to bring it. It's always deceiving to say, oh, if there's any injuries, because I don't know how many times I've rolled with people over the years. They're like, yeah, I got a bad back, I got a bad neck, I got a bad knee, my wrists are bothering me. I'm just going to sort of flow roll. And you're like, oh, okay, well, you're just going to flow roll. And then it's like, man, they're coming at me 100 miles per hour, full steam ahead. And it's like, I thought we was flow rolling, but it's cool. I just sort of respond to whatever intensity level they bring to it, so I don't make more of it than what it is, which is it's just a training session. So if that person comes at it really intense, bringing their A game, it's like, okay, even if I end up by going into the role like maybe too passively and I find myself in a bad position, well, it's like, well, this is great because maybe I've the person has the mount on me, because I didn't realize how intense or how they was going to push it. Okay, well, now I get to work on my mount escape against a person that's really bringing it, so it's like, this is good. This is a good training. And try to keep that in mind when you're rolling, is we're just training. So if you get tapped, if you get in a dominant, you get dominated, because you just weren't ready to match their intensity or you didn't expect their intensity, no worries. It is what it is. And, so if I'm visiting another school, if we're starting on our feet, we fist bump, I really don't know what to expect, from a person, maybe I'll pull guard and then just see how they react. Or if we start on our knees, we fist bump, I usually pull into a guard and see how they react. And, I'll let them set the tempo and I'll just match that. The exception is like last year, me, Daryl Rodriguez, and Ron Williams, we were getting ready for the Master Worlds. And, Ron and Daryl are both black belts. And we're like, hey, let's train together. And we'll invite other black belts and maybe some brown belts into these training sessions. And we're going to go. And so we did that. We would go to each other's schools, and, once a week, and we'd set up these training sessions. And so I knew, we were starting on our feet. we're bumping fists, and we're gonna go just like we're in the world championships. We're bringing it. And so we already knew what that was. But sometimes, like, if I go to visit somebody's school and it's like, hey, Saad, you want to roll? I'd let them set the pace. It's like, okay, we'll see. Or even if another black belt or really any belt level comes to my school and they're like, hey, you want to roll? It's like, sure, let's roll. And I'll see what kind of pace and what they're going to bring to it, and I'll just sort of match that. And don't get caught up in making training more than what it is. So it's like, if you sort of were coming at a flow roll pace and they come 100 miles per hour, it's like, oh, we're going to learn today. And so don't make more of it make more out of it than what it really is. And so I let my training partners sort of set the tempo. It's like, they'll set the tempo and the intensity level, and then I'll match that. So that's this week's question of the week. That's my best answer. Other people have different views, and that's cool too. And if you got any other ideas, make a comment below, and I'll be interested to hear what other thoughts people have. And that's it for this week. And if you got a question for next week, you can either make a comment below, or when you see me in class, or on Facebook, Instagram, or one of the social medias, and be like, hey, this is my question of the week, and I'd be more than happy to answer. All right. Thanks again. Hope everybody have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.